The writer of WandaVision has had more backlash come at her ever since Agatha All Along, and of course it never went away with Doctor Strange 2 and WandaVision, because a lot of people thought that the way they wrote Wanda was somewhat controversial and terrible because they portrayed her as a villain. So now the writer addresses the backlash. So this comes at us from Jack Sheffer, who of course was the woman responsible for WandaVision, went on to write Agatha All Along, also helped a little in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and she's got an overall deal with Marvel Studios and Disney to develop other projects. And well, she was doing the rounds for Agatha All Along, and as always, people ask her about why she decided to make Wanda a villain, and why this continued in Doctor Strange 2 and how it's divisive. Now, if you've read a comic, you know the Scarlet Witch literally becomes a villain multiple times, then sort of comes back, then becomes a villain again. Like, that's her. They clearly made her a villain. There's no going back on this with what she did. Maybe she can forgive herself and other people can forgive her like Bucky Barnes, but at heart, what she did was driven by anger and emotion. She became a villain. She did these things. The writers aren't responsible for not delivering your perfect fantasy, right? It's not their fault that there's a story arc to tell. That's like the comics. So she says that when they were working on this, the intent wasn't to like piss people off or do something. The intent was to tell a great story, and that the story included suffering and loss and a mental break and what it can do to a person. But also that when you get to Doctor Strange 2, we saw the length she would go through to try to fix what she thinks is broken about her only. It's kind of like a selfish thing, right? It's all there. Like, I get some people don't understand something unless it's spoon-fed to them, and writers shouldn't be having to do interviews defending writing decisions, which makes sense. You know, it's like the people that are still on the Bucky should have been Cap train. Yeah. Okay, does that mean Agent Walker, U.S. agent, should also be Captain America? And I know you're going to say no, because it's like, well, no, he's a terrible person. He kills people and things. Right. Bucky assassinated JFK. My God, some people do not have media literacy.